Yep. Perfect. Welcome everybody to StartupTech Unleashed. This is actually only our second event that we're hosting. We're actually in the process right now launching some other cities. As of in March, we're actually going to be opening up another Meetup style group like this in Waterloo as well. It's probably the next Workplace One location over there. We're really pleased. As a business owner myself and someone who is in the startup space, I know the pains that a lot of you guys have gone through. If you're in the process of starting your own business, I mean, I ran a print business and marketing business for a number of years, and then just recently decided to get into the tech space ourselves, based on the fact that, hey, we're all a little techie, I'm a little nerdy, and just love the progression of what we're seeing right now in tech and how things have progressed. So this is what we created this group. This group is for you guys. If you guys have an idea of what you want us to talk about, if there is a speaker that you want us to focus on, if there's an idea that you have, share it with us. This group can't grow without your support and without your knowledge. We're here for you. So with that being said, this is one of the formats of the speakers that we have right now, where it's a fireside chat with a special featured speaker. We also are going to be bringing in two startup companies right now that can talk about their pains and what they're all about. And then we're going to be focusing on a question and answer period after the event is done. So once again, it's going to be enjoying the pizza. You're going to have the two startup companies talking about who they are. They have about 2 minutes, 2-3 minutes, and then we're going to be talking directly to our fellow speaker here. And then again, at that point, after the question and answer period, the little interview or little talk that we have is over, definitely we want your opinion. This is a Q&A session. Give us your information. You don't have an opportunity all the time to have someone from OCE to sit down, answer the questions right away. And the beauty is he's here, he's very approachable, there's information around, there's a lot of events happening, so get all your questions answered right away. So with that being said, I'll bring in our first featured speaker. This will be Olivia, and she'll talk about her business. Okay.
Hi everyone, my name is Olivia Simmons. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Conference Cloud. So we've all gone to conferences, we all love conferences, but I'm pretty sure that everyone's been in the situation where you get a great invitation to a conference, and guess what? You don't have the $5,000 departmental budget, or you can't take the 3 days out of the office. So that's actually what we have developed. We developed a solution called Conference Cloud that essentially allows you to virtually attend conferences from all over the globe. At the same time, if you haven't run a conference, you might not know that it's very difficult to actually try and turn a profit at conferences. So at the same time, Conference Cloud allows conferences to monetize their content to digital audiences. So this is a win-win solution, and I run the company with my brother, and this solution was actually born out of our own kind of problem of trying to get great conference content, but not essentially having to spend all the time and the money away from the office. So that's kind of a lowdown on Conference Cloud. We aim to have over 200 conferences on the platform this year. Right now we have north of 41. We're streaming hackathons and conferences out of Chicago and San Francisco. We've got stuff coming from Mars, so we've got a great content lineup coming up. And for the last year and a half, we've been working with OCE as one of our financing partners. So if you're looking for funding to get your company off the ground, OCE absolutely is a great partner here in Ontario.
Fantastic. Perfect. And then feel free afterwards as well. If you have any questions directly or looking to host a conference or get some information directly from Olivia, definitely stop by and have a chance to talk to her.
Absolutely.
And we're bringing Dylan to the next one. Come on down. Feature speaker.
Hey,
tell us a little bit about you and your company, what you're all about.
Cool. So I'm not as prepared, but I run a company called Neighborly. We're a real estate technology product based out of Toronto. We started about a year and a half ago. We've got about 6 guys, and what we do is we screen tenants better than anybody on the planet. We have 22 patents that basically allow us to algorithmically predict tenant outcomes in real estate properties. So we deal with some of the largest real estate investment trusts in Canada, individual landlords, and we really just focus on that one vertical. So we're not trying to be like a marketplace or do anything else really sexy. We're like the most unsexy company in terms of that, and we screen tenants. Yeah, we do it really well. We got I'm a big proponent of bootstrapping your own company. My background, I've built and sold 2 startups previously. So that kind of gave us a bit of a head start, but the funding environment significantly changed in the last couple of months, rapidly. People are not investing like they were. People have gotten scared off, and so building like that, solid brick and mortar core business where you're able to actually, have revenue day one is getting more and more important. So I'm a big proponent of that. I don't know. Check us out at neighborly.co. It's spelled all like tech startup-y, Naborly, instead of the regular way.
And you said you weren't prepared. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
Come on, go for it.
I'm just chatty. So is that 2 minutes?
That's 2 minutes.
Okay, cool. I'll
If
be
there's
over
any
there.
questions, that's it. Hold that on the side, talk about anything to do with funding, what the business is basically about. I mean, he's got a really good, 2 minutes really doesn't do him justice. We're probably going to bring him on board as well and have a whole featured presentation around his business, how he started up, the trials and tribulations. That's typically the format when we bring a speaker, but when I knew speaker from OCE could be here, I thought this is going to be perfect. We're just in the process of launching a webinar series as well, which is an educational series that's going to give you some information on everything from marketing, funding. It's almost like a, Entrepreneur 101 kind of course. It'll go from the basics down to things a little bit more advanced. But one of the programs we're going to be launching again is in conjunction directly with OCE to tell you a little bit more about the funding programs. Because you got to know what's out there. So with that being said, just tell us a little bit more about yourself and your background.
Absolutely. Thank you, Brett. Well, good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here to speak with all of you. And again, when you have all your questions, you can direct them right to me. But to give a bit of background on myself, after finishing up my postdoctoral studies, I joined a local biotech company. That was my first position here in Toronto as a discovery scientist. Well, fortunately, being in a smaller company, you get to wear lots of different hats. And that's where I first got exposed to business development and helping the company grow, as well as some of the pains that a lot of startup companies will have.
Okay.
So through that, we got the group going. We were able to evaluate and work with a number of different smaller companies. And then from there, I was able to join a larger multinational called Nycomed. And the company I was with here was called NPS Allegiance here in Toronto.
Oh, nice.
The company Nycomed allowed me then to go and evaluate lots of different technologies. And one of the things that I found very refreshing is to see young companies, the new ideas coming to fruition and helping them get to the next stage. So a lot of what I was doing was involving myself with those earlier stage companies that didn't have the capital to get into pharmaceutical development at the later stages, and it gets pretty expensive. So we would work and license with them and explore their ideas, give them some guidance as well if they weren't ready, suggestions on what things to get them ready on that. So following with that, then I continued on in some more commercialization, also as well working in technology transfer at the University of Toronto, and medical affairs, so really spanning all the different areas. My interests are not only in the life sciences, but in all different areas, and that's where my transition into OCE really was beneficial to myself, is that I was then able to help individuals in all different sectors, all different tech areas, whether it be computer sciences, engineering, life sciences, really to give them, because there's some basic underlying tenets that you need to address as you're starting your company, developing your technology, looking for new markets. How do you go? How do you adapt? Things of that nature.
So I guess from what your conversation right now, so you got into the medtech space really early on. And how did you see a transition over when you originally started? So how should we address you first, Dr.
Oh, you can just call me Brad.
All right,
Please, just call me Brad.
Dr. Brad. Okay. So how did you see the medtech when you first, or that whole space, evolve from when you first got in to where it is right now?
Well, it's matured significantly.
Yeah.
Then that's really when a lot of biopharmaceuticals were just starting to take off, things of that nature. There were a lot of new areas, a lot of different open areas, and also too, there was a lot more risk capital available. And that's one of the things I'm sure that everyone appreciates, is that the amount of risk capital in a lot of different areas has increased overall. So that's one of the things I've seen that's a little different.
Yeah.
So you can get things started in the med tech area, but it's that getting the transition into a product on market. There's a lot more too around the medical device business, because at the time there were a lot of good ideas, but we really couldn't solve them. Now there's been the combination of different software that can then bridge with the diagnostics and the outcomes has really started to come together, as well as optics. So there's a real convergence in the medical device space that I'm seeing.
And With your knowledge right now, so you're also covering clean tech as well, right?
That's right, clean tech areas and
Yeah.
all the areas of different civil and mechanical engineering as well, and water remediation, things of that nature.
How do you see I would say, within the Canadian marketplace right now, or even specifically Ontario, what has been the biggest trends that you've seen within biotech and within, from the med tech, clean tech industries? What's the biggest trends that you see? What's the biggest things that get you really excited that you're starting to see right now?
Well, the appreciation of the overlying global warming, for instance. We all have been watching that and appreciating what the impacts are, and that governments are starting to acknowledge that we need to do something about it. We're not going to change it overnight, but let's start to get some new technologies, new approaches to help improve the standards, or at least keep it where it is while we're trying to improve it. That's one area as well. And that's expanding out, not just in carbon emissions, but in water remediation, things of that nature. So those are the overall recognitions and trends. And not just looking at traditional ways of dig it up and ship it out, but how do you now improve it? How do you remediate it really? And maybe start to harvest some of the excess energy that's being produced, the different heavy metals that are there that can be recycled. So just thinking outside the box of traditional ways of treating waste.
Okay, and then talking about maybe traditional ways of thinking outside the box, how do you see, with OCE right now, what's the OCE stance? Or can you tell us a little bit more about information about OCE? If people don't know what OCE is,
sure,
tell us what it is.
that's where I'll start right there.
Segue there.
So, and as Brian mentioned, I brought in a fair bit of literature about our different programs that we have. So OCE, we've been around since 1987 in various different forms. We started off as independent research centers, as the Ontario Centers of Excellence, but have morphed into other areas and more as a funding vehicle for the government. We receive our funds through the Ministry of Research and Innovation, but we are a separate not-for-profit as well. So we deploy and we develop, and we try to follow what trends or what the needs are in Ontario. We're spread out across the whole province. There's business development managers such as myself spread across the whole province to assist companies and universities through be able to access our programs and to better navigate the programs as well. So at the current time, we really have three different pillars that we work with. One is entrepreneurship and startups assisting, so we have funds available for that. We also for talent development, so helping interns and postdoctoral fellows get some industry experience, because we really feel it's important to take and be able to translate the academic experience into an industrial environment, to be able to understand and utilize that knowledge you've developed. Also too is translating technologies from the university to industry. And this is through partnerships between academics and established industries. And they could be of various sizes, really. It really depends on their needs. So that's where OCE is fitting in. We've got funds, as I mentioned. We have the Smart Start programs, which are for youth and non-youth streams. In our case, we call youth 29 and younger, and then 30 years older is non-youth. I wasn't involved in this, like, but then there's also, and we also, our voucher for innovation is for that university industry engagement, and they can be small single challenges, but or larger multi-faceted products. But overall, it's about addressing a need that the industry has that can be developed and assisted through university technology.
So would you say this is the program of OCE right now is really good? Let's say I'm a university student, just about to graduate, or I'm an engineer, have a program, it's in the ideation stage right now, I want to start moving forward. What point does OCE really come into the picture being, this is somewhere I got to start talking to, or start exploring the programs?
Sure. Well, for OCE ourselves, we come in once a company has been created.
Okay.
We're happy to chat with you, to give you some guidance before that. But our programs come in when you have an incorporated company on this point. And then you can, and you've worked with a regional innovation center. Now, how many of you are familiar with the regional innovation centers that are here? Two. Okay, so I'll just give you a bit. So a bit of background. The regional innovation centers are spread across Ontario. Most of them are clustered in the Southern Ontario area, and their examples are Mars Discovery District, Venture Labs, Communitech out in Waterloo, the Spark Center. There's also Forge that's out in Hamilton. And these are all resources that you can tap into to help you establish and grow your business. And this is, a lot of it is, they'll set you up with mentors, there's advisory services, guidance, they have classes, things like this that really can help you develop your business plan, have a better sense of what the market is, where you should be looking, how you should be setting things up. Once you've worked with them for 4 or 5 months or so, and you've incorporated the company, then we can start to look at our Smart Start programs, which are seed funds. Now in all of our programs, I will say that it requires matching funds from them. In the Smart Start seed fund, it's a $30,000 ask to OCE. We would like the company to bring in $30,000. Money can come from anywhere. As long as it's not another government source, it's fine. We have a larger ask, which is $60,000. And part of that has to come from either sales or third-party investment. Someone that's beyond friends and family, that shows a little bit more traction for your company. But through the process, and those two, is that you work with an individual like myself to hone it, if you have, hone the application, and as well to get guidance. Any questions you want, if it's not myself, one of my colleagues can help, or we can direct you in another area. Yes?
Do they have to be provincially incorporated or federal?
Well, it's federally incorporated in that case. So you'll have a provincial entity, but then you'll be federally incorporated. We want to see a CRA number in that case. So, but it's a good point. Another example, so it's someone coming out of the university. We have our Campus Link Accelerator program. And what this is, these are incubators that are located within the university. Now, we have a Campus Link Accelerator in 42 out of the 44 universities and colleges in Ontario at this time. The U of T has 9 of them, given the size, but everybody else has 1 or 2 in that case. And they're specialized at U of T, specific disciplines. But you can work between different ones. And the essence there is that you will go into their program. You may have heard of UTest. This comes out of the Innovations and Partnership Office, or Impact Center, or the DMZ at Ryerson. Those are all CLAs referred to. And they give you, once you've entered in, they accept it into the CLA, because it's around an idea, a concept that you want to develop out. They will help you incorporate, they will help you design, really get off the ground. So they're a pre-incorporation vehicle that helps you get going in that way.
Perfect. So again, for an early, anyone within that fits within the age group that's basically under 30, either just graduated from university or has an idea. The beauty of an innovation center like that, or these programs, is it hones your idea.
Exactly.
It takes that general, I think I got something, down to possibly I really have a product that can bring it, and brings it to basically to you, right?
That's right, yeah. So we're the next stage on that, and they run boot camps to really run you through, get you ready for pitching to investors, it really challenges you on what's the market potential for this, what are the challenges that you face, what are the pressure points, things of that nature. And it's all about recognition, and then you solve that.
Then, being with OCE, then what would be the ideal customer? I mean, what are you looking for in a company that says, you know what, they got it. So they have either this is my hit list, or this is my to-do list of what procedures I have to hit. What would be?
Sure, so focusing on the Smart Start programs, because that really is those new companies that are they've incorporated, they've been working with our Regional Innovation Center for at least 4 months. They're less than 3 years old as well, because we want them to be early stage. The founders are committed, they have some money involved in that. They're dedicated. This isn't just a flyer on the side, but they're dedicated to the business. They're the CEO, the CSO, and they really want to see that go forward. That's one of the first things. And then, so the nature of the business, one, ideally, it's got an innovative component, something that's really different. That secret sauce is going to help. Because it's, in many of the areas, it's a crowded marketplace. So you want to be able to differentiate yourself from the competition. And at the Smart Start early stage, it can be something that has, it's refer to IP generating, so something that could be patented or things, but it may not be. It may be a concept that you can get there faster than the other people.
Okay.
So that's really where we're looking at. Someone who is also very, as I mentioned, dedicated, has a vision, passionate by it, and is willing to take the feedback that they're getting and incorporate.
Okay.
It's important to recognize the things that you don't know as much as you do.
So what you're trying to say is they're very coachable.
Yes,
They take the
exactly.
criticism, they'll sit back, if you have your product, I mean, one of the biggest things we had when we designed ours, and then you can probably talk about the same thing with your products, is you have your MVP. You have an original idea of this is what we're going to do. The reality, when you start doing your testing, with your feedback and everybody else's, is your original grand idea was not really what the customer wanted. You
Yes.
scale back and you give the minimum viable product that we can start off, we hit the market, and then grow from there.
Absolutely. And I think because of we've received a lot of interest in our Smart Start programs.
Yeah.
It's now to the point where you need that minimal viable product.
Okay.
To really, you're looking there, you have a prototype, whether it's a new algorithm or whether it's a physical widget, that you have that prototype. And now you need to test it out, you want to get the beta version, you want to get out to your first sales, things of that nature. So that's what we're looking at, and a good full appreciation of the market. And you can say, and you're not going to solve it all with the $60,000.
Yeah.
The appreciation that these are where we have to go, and this is how far we're going to go with that first $60,000. This is what it's going to get us to.
Okay.
And so that's really key.
So just to reiterate again, so a company under 3 years old, making sure you have skin in the game.
Yes.
You know, making sure that you're dedicated, you're there, you're living and breathing it, and we're going to listen to your criticisms. I mean, that's the beauty of, I think, dealing with innovation centers or dealing with programs like yourself, that you're giving us valuable product, and valuable information. I find the biggest problem with ourselves and other startups is you get tunnel vision. You're so tied up in your own product, if you're a programmer or anybody else, you're so stuck going, this is what we need to do, this is what we need to do, but in reality is, you need people like you to just shake us around saying, this is really what you should do first. And I think that's the most important part. Now, I'll open up the, question and answer period, unless you have something else that you want to really address, or you want to say.
No, I'm happy to answer any questions
Perfect.
that people would have.
There we go.
Yes.
Go for you.
What kind of, I won't say sector, but what kind of startups are you guys really been focusing on this year? What kind of patterns or trends are you guys seeing?
Well, that's one of the nice things I feel about OCE is we look at all sectors.
Right.
We really don't have a preference for one over the other. Now, that being said, there's usually sectors that you can get to market a little faster. I can say in the therapeutic section, it's a pretty hard play to get a smart start in that, because it's 10 years down the road. It's long and lots of money. But that said, you can have devices, you get people a lot of different programming, things of that nature. We see stuff from all over. So I think what's important is you should look at it and say, I really feel strongly about this. I see a need, that there's market pull there, and I have a solution that people are going to want to buy. It could be anything then.
Yeah. Did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody else? Oh, there we go.
Could you give examples of some companies that may have succeeded with help from your organization?
Well, I would say Conference Cloud has succeeded very well, because I'll add to it is that the Smart Start, we used to refer to it as Market Readiness 1. And then we expanded that into our 3 different streams, because so we have our 30,000, which is Smart Start Youth, another 60 that I mentioned, but then we have a non-youth that's 30,000. Usually the companies have then developed to that beta version, tested it out, they get ready, they start to engender sales, and they're ready for our Market Readiness customer creation scheme direction, and then we have a company build as well. And these are larger asks, and they're actually more of an investment vehicle, but our primary interest is not necessarily investment. We want to see the growth, but this is how we've structured the Market Readiness program for the CC and CB. In those cases, it's $125,000 matched by the company for the CC. And then we also have a $250,000 at the company bill.
Yeah.
And those are about really establishing that sales cycle for the CC,
So setting up the
And then
milestones, it's making
you're
sure
setting
you're
up your
actually.
milestones and the rest. So I'd say so. Yeah. So Conference Cloud has done very well with their programs.
What I was going to say is that even being along with the Smart Start recipient is that you are able to participate in OCE's annual Discovery Conference. It's one of the largest innovation conferences in Canada, 3,000 people from around the globe. It has huge rave reviews. Like we've gotten like clients from these events, right? So OCE is constantly there as a partner. You have your computer forum. There's constantly, they're giving you opportunities to meet new clients, to do more sales, because your success is their success. So absolutely, they have those opportunities all the time. They're looking to help you.
So it's not just the money, it's a resource.
Yeah.
It's resources, and we also do, in addition to that 30,000, there's an extra $7,500 in non-matched training funds.
Yeah.
And you can use it for if you feel you need sales training, that you need some legal counsel, and there's a number of different things that you can use it for. And it's all about helping the company build out and helping everyone grow.
Any other questions? There we go.
So what's the difference between the youth and the non-youth SMARTS program, the START program? Like,
Okay.
Is it the selection criteria, your age, or?
Well, the first one's the age. In the 30,000, we do want to see that half the cash comes from investment or sales in that case as well. So
For the
there's
non-youth?
For the non-youth.
Okay.
It's in the youth 60,000. There is that component as well. But the youth 30,000, the money can come from anywhere, like friends, family, as long as it doesn't come from a government source.
Well, one question I'll have right now, because it actually was brought up to me by another startup company, was, let's say we fit within, we're over 40, so we're in, I think, the third stage of the 30 plus, over 40. Now the second thing is we're self-funded, we gave our own money directly into it, so that goes into over $30,000. Can that be done through the life of the company, or does it have to be when they first ask for the 30 grand? So let's say we
So once you've received the funds,
Yeah.
have been approved, we ask for a bank statement.
Okay.
That shows, okay, that you have the funds available, you have the matching funds.
Okay.
Or it could be
Pre-existing
a
funds
letter
or
of
things that you spend?
at
or-
that time, so you'll need
Okay.
it, so you need to have the 30,000 in your bank account at that point, or and it could be, or you could show purchase orders, show I have cash coming in, or I have a letter of intent from an investor.
Perfect.
Things like that, so it's really showing the proof that you have the cash available.
Done. Question down there? Nope. I'll go way back there first.
So the seed money, what kind of strings are attached with that seed money, like any proportion of ownership?
We don't have, they're all grant, all of our programs except for the Market Readiness CC and the Market Readiness CB are pure grants. So we just want to see your company grow. We ask for reports back. They're fairly straightforward reports, but that's it. And in the case of the CC or the CB, it's convertible debt.
So the 30 plus you're saying is that like the 30 plus the 30,000 one?
Yes.
And you're saying that the 30,000 which is coming from the owner or from the the original person. So half of it need to come as part of sales or as part of his or her initial investment, and then you match it up kind of thing.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So it has to come from either from a sale or a third-party investor. So someone who has said, I believe in this company's product and the people there enough that I'm going to put money in. And I'm not one of the founders, and I'm not related to them. I'm just going in.
So basically 15,000 from the founder and 15,000 from any other source except the founder.
Pretty much.
Either a
Well,
third
yeah.
party investor or a
Or
sale or anything.
government, or it can't be government funds either.
And then it can be matched with the 30,000 from the OC.
That's right, yeah.
Perfect. Right with it?
Yeah, it was along the lines of the same question. So if you want to go for the 60,000, $30,000 should be matched by the founders themselves, right? Is
You
that
could do it, yeah, so that would be, the maximum could be 30,000.
okay?
So if you happen to have 75, 80,000 from an investor or through sales, you could do that too. But the minimum is 50-50.
Okay, I see. So the third-party stuff that has to be there as well to get the 60. Does that matter if it's how much? is from the third-party investors?
As long as it's at least, I'd say the more the better, but it has to be at least 50%.
So it's like a proof that someone did a risk analysis on you and thinks you're gonna go
Exactly.
somewhere.
It's an additional validation
I see.
in your
Okay.
product and
So the more it is,
support.
the more likely it is that you guys would be interested.
Well, it adds more support. And having that third-party investor sales, you say, look, I've already started to sell some of this. And we have people coming in at that stage. They're developing out even the prototypes. With a company that's developing a diagnostic technology for research scientists.
Okay.
So they were willing to take their beta version and start using it in their laboratory
Oh,
and pay for it. So
sponsoring customer right there.
there you go.
Perfect, you had a question?
Is there like for the non-youth, is there a minimum run rate that we need to meet per month? Like you mentioned like a set amount that you need to bring in. But is there, if you're bringing in sales, like is there a minimum run
No.
rate? No.
No, as long as you can prove once it's been approved, and you can prove that you've got the 30,000 or you've got the sales, you'll need to have that in your bank account at the time, or if you have POs to show that you're going to be getting it in, then that's fine.
So it's really just a dollar amount. It's not like a metric that you need to meet, like some VCs out there. They
Exactly, yeah,
expect
because we're not a VC mechanism. People are-
Great question.
Sorry, another question. So back to, I think you mentioned that you're looking to see how people are going to use that money towards what growth plan. Are there any metrics around that that you're forced to try to see how are you going to structure this money, or how are you going to structure the spend of this money?
Well, you need to break it out in your budget,
Right.
and the milestones within that budget, and those milestones will relate back to your business plan or business canvas. I encourage everybody to go right to a business plan if they can. Get as much detail as you can up front, because that's going to really help shape where you're going.
Okay.
And you start to say, oh, I forgot about that. But that's a good idea. And that's something we can, when we read through it, we say, well, we can make recommendations. But we do want to see that in your progress reports. Is, are you meeting the milestones? Is there a problem? Is there a
Do you
reason
actually
why you
have
can't?
milestones, and what are they?
Yes, exactly. So you've got to have your milestones on it. And at the end of the report, did you meet them? Have you hired new people? Things of that nature. So we just want to see that you've met your milestones.
And that's one of the reasons I think you're dealing with the innovation center, so that you have the mentorship, you have that help, initially even without you guys, just to get yourself ready before we even come see you. So we have our business plan, we know what we're doing, we got our pitch.
Yeah.
You either have some kind of either sales deck or a pitch deck, so we can say, this is who we are. We know now who we are as a company.
Yes.
And then we can ask, you ask us questions, we can answer them properly.
Exactly.
Versus, well,
It's
yeah,
very
we're
important.
kind of, sorta,
Yes.
this is what we do.
Exactly.
Perfect. Any other, person over there.
So again, in terms of like if you have an existing corporate and if you have an idea and if you want to branch off on that idea, so you have a corporate for last 5-7 years, but you have thinking about a different product or a different branch off. So on that line, do you have to create another entity or another incorporate, or can you branch off within that entity and then go for that?
Well, the company does need to be less than 3 years old, and
Okay,
we would,
that's benchmark.
yeah, and then if you're forming another company just to develop that other one up, it may not be strong enough to stand on its